Hello, my name is Joe Clems, and I am a father of four. I'm a husband to an amazing wife. I'm an adventurer and hobby farmer. I'm a CEO and founder of Real Life Counseling located in Vancouver, Washington. I'm also a clinical social worker, and I'm an addict in recovery and trauma survivor. I wanted to talk with you a little bit today about what I do with clients just to help them calm their minds, their bodies, and their emotions. Often when we are talking about their stories, and this is their trauma story, we know that their minds, their bodies, and their emotions are reacting in the present as if they were in the past. Whatever happened to them in the past is now being carried out in the present. And so what I do with my clients is to help them ground to the present. And we do that because every therapist wants you to breathe. I use a breathing technique. Yes, I do. I also use a trick to help the body remember that it is in the present and not in the past. And then I do a tapping exercise that helps tap in and strengthen a calm place. And I'll go ahead and break all this down after we're finished, but let's demonstrate just for a little bit. So I'm kind of dramatic with clients. I literally tell them, right, because we're going to ground to the present. We're going to I'm going to remind the client that they're not in the past, right? But they're here in my office or on a video telehealth. And one of the ways I do this is I tell them, take up their leg and stomp it down, their right leg or their left leg. And that stimulates touch, right? Just like we can feel our bodies resting against our chairs or the clothes that are on our body, and that is touch. And we're really just going over the five senses. What are the other senses? What do they hear in their room? I can hear a fan, right? I can hear the breeze. What do they see in their room? Well, I can see the walls in my room, but I can certainly see my dog who happens to be resting right next to me, right? What do they smell? Right? I can smell my shampoo that I used today. You might be able to smell something similar. What do they taste? Well, I recently had a cup of coffee, so I can taste my coffee. Right away, we've gone through touch, sight, smell, taste, and hearing. So we've hit all five senses, which is grounding to the present and not to whatever happened in the past. And then I tell my clients that I want them to sit back in their chairs, lean back, whatever's comfortable, close their eyes or leave them partially open, and I simply want you to breathe. We don't need to count to 15 and hold for 15 and exhale for 15. Certainly, if that makes you comfortable, go for it. But I just want you to do what is comfortable. So literally, they inhale, they hold for whatever's comfortable, and they exhale. And I would have my clients in office do this for a few moments. And then I would step it up a little bit. As they're inhaling and holding and exhaling, I would have them in their minds tell themselves, I know that I'm inhaling and I know that I'm exhaling. And they would do that for a few minutes. And then we would add a little bit more. I would say, now imagine that there is a red balloon in your chest. And when you inhale, that red balloon inflates. And when you exhale, that balloon deflates. It inflates and it deflates. And we would do that for a few more moments. And then what I would do when I see that they're getting into it, inhaling and exhaling, and they're working it, so they're working the problem, then what we do is we add a little bit more. And so we're transitioning now, and I have them imagine that they're biting into a big lemon. And this lemon is full of citrus. And we all know that when we imagine biting into something that is very strong, very sour and tart, what does it do? But it actually, we can feel within our mouths moisture, saliva that is coming in. And what we know is when we are salivating, that our digestive system is online. And one of the things that we know that when we are hyper-aroused, hyper-vigilant, right, which is a trauma symptom reacting to the past, that our digestive systems shut off. So as we're breathing and relaxing and we're being mindful to what we're doing, and then we bring online our digestive system, what are we doing, right? We are offline from the hyper-arousal, the hyper-vigilant, and we're bringing ourselves into the present and we're relaxing. So we imagine that we're biting into some lemons and we're salivating. And we do that for a few moments. And then what I do is, I've already taught my clients this, but I'll demonstrate this for you, is I teach my clients how to tap. And so oftentimes I will have my clients cross their arms at the wrist, right? And then they will rest their fingertips right on their collarbone. And we will begin tapping from right to left or from left to right. Now, sometimes when trauma happens, like physical trauma or an assault, something like that, our collarbones can be broken. And so tapping on our collarbones can be very triggering. And so if that is triggering for someone, I have them do a different type of tapping. And so they may tap on the top of their legs, fingertips resting right at their knees. Right? If that's uncomfortable for them, I may have them tap on the side of their legs, fingertips just to the side of their knees. And so we find what works, what doesn't work, what is comfortable. But I do prefer this method. So we're just tapping from right to left. Traditionally, before we get to this point, I'll have my clients already come up with something that made them happy, that lights them up, that made them feel loved, that made them giggle, right? Whatever that is, whatever their happy place is. For me, my happy place is in the mountains. I live in a valley. I live in a valley surrounded by the Cabinet Mountains, by the Selkirk Mountains. I am in my happy place every single day, at least I try to be, right? Stress still comes into that happy place. But I am most happy, I am most calm in the mountains. So for me, that's where it's going to be. It's going to be a nice twilight, a purple twilight. And that's going to make me feel at peace. But for someone, it's very different. And so we have them find that place. And it might be with someone that makes them laugh, that makes them feel loved, that makes them feel protected. And we tap that in. Why tapping, do you ask? Right? Tapping actually strengthens the neural pathways in our brain, right, that is associated with that memory, and it strengthens the feelings within our body, the feelings of giggling, the feelings of being protected, the feelings of being loved, the feelings of being comfortable in that place. And so we're just making it stronger. We're making it stronger and stronger, the emotion, the physical sensation, and the thought. That's exactly what we're doing. Essentially, I do this with my clients at the close of every session. And I want them to practice it throughout the week because we are digging up their story. They may have spent a lifetime trying to avoid whatever happened to them as a child, as a young adult, as an adult. And now they're coming to me and we're uncovering it all. And so I don't want to send my clients back out into their world undone, right? Where their emotions are all over the place, their beliefs, their negative beliefs about themselves are on fire, right? Their bodies are all amped up. I want them to calm. I want to teach them how that we can touch their story and they're not going to be undone by their story because I've taught them a method that they can now go out and use again and again and again and again. In my office, we may only use this for a few minutes. But I know that when it's done in the real world, they need to do this method maybe 5, 10, 15, 45 minutes. And so I make them believers in it. I make them an expert in it. Anyways, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comment, please post them. Look forward to talking with you. Bye-bye.